Motoriki. Kia ora koutou talofa lava, mahalo elelei nisan bulavanaka, and welcome to KIWI News Briefs. Hi, I'm Beno, konnichiwa, and bonjour, good tag. Well, as predicted earlier this year, the road speed outside high schools and schools has gone up to 110 kilometres, so you can blame the Minister of Transport if there are any deaths or injuries, and in December we'll do a head count of how many people the Minister of Transport has actually killed due to the silly decision outside schools. A good one, Minister of Transport. Nicola Willis, you state that the government is trying to balance books, and what you didn't say was, and I quote, I want to reduce the number of women getting equal pay with men, because that's what you've done, and you've made women up and down the country go on strike because they're not earning as much as you, and you're just a wealthy, rich, greedy, spoiled brat. You should be saying I'm an out-of-touch, wealthy woman, and you're obviously not catering for people in hospitals because you made a whole lot of people from hospital staff unemployed because you underpaid them, and most of them have gone over to Australia and America. Now you're patting it over the back, stating that there is new opening of wards in Nelson and a few other areas, but did you actually think, you rich people, about manning these places? You can build all the places you want, and yet you don't have the staff because you don't respect them and you don't pay them respectfully. Out of touch. Out of touch. Also, at high schools, you only last week on your budget just catered for specialist type of teaching. The general public, which amounts to hundreds of thousands of children, are going to miss out on basic journal reading. Bring back the journals so that basic Kiwis can actually learn how to read from J1 to year 13. As a former teacher myself, I was still teaching at high school some kids to read because they never got a Kiwi-based program from day one. Now, I also should add, most of us who were successful when New Zealand was #1 in the world for reading, writing and mathematics, you need to bring teachers' colleges back. Everyone's on the same book, everyone's on the same page, everyone does a curriculum called Aotearoa curriculum, and we don't need overseas examples. That just means you're uncreative, Nicola. So out of touch. You're making waves. The tradespeople are all unemployed because you've made them redundant, and now they're all like going to churches for food care baskets. You people are wealthy up here, so out of touch with the normal Kiwis who work so hard to put food on the table, and you're patting yourselves on the news every night. Speaking of which, your government-owned, government-run TV network is stating that there's some people who are not telling the truth. I can guarantee, because those channels are owned by you, that you're telling them what to put on at 6 o'clock news at night. There are channels like ours who are legal studies people, and we will not actually put up with incompetent politicians and tell the people how it really is, okay? You just keep stealing from the lower classes in order to balance your books. And by the way, we had a copycat, Judith Collins, earlier before the elections, who was pretending to pray in a church just like President Trump. I suggest, just like the Bible, if anyone sees those sorts of people bringing television cameras into a place of worship, stone them, just like people did to whores back then. Okay, Judith Collins, don't pretend in a religious setting. It could come back and bite you in the fat ass. Take care, everyone. Know what your rights are, and if in doubt, go to community law. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Go learn how to do some really cool baking, economic wise, store up your cupboards with flour, rice, and a few other baked beans and all those, just to get your food quota over the line. Take care. We'll be doing some baking next week. King's birthday. Take care.